Hey, everybody. I will wait for some folks to get in here. Hello. It's Thursday night, and I'm your host, Stacey B of the New Empowered Woman Show. Thank you for joining me this Thursday. We're going to give our guest a couple minutes to come in the room. She's a busy lady, so she will be joining us in a couple of minutes. But I thank you for joining us on the New Empowered Woman page and also my personal Facebook page. If you are joining us here, please let's do some housekeeping. Please give StreamYard permission to use your name and your image so that you can dialogue back with us tonight in the chat so we can show your face and show your name and your comments. So let's do all that. And I'll ask one last thing. Please like and please share the broadcast. So again, this is the New Empowered Woman Show where I feature women who are living out of the box lives. They're dynamic women, business owners, authors, and survivors, and they are empowering you to move from your now to your new. So I'm happy to have you here. And if this is your first time, let me introduce myself. I am Stacey Bynum. I am a writer, an author, a speaker, a minister, and I'm the author of Defiled Treasure and also the creator of the Stronghold Breaker Blueprint. And again, I'm excited to have you join us tonight. So let me do some more housekeeping and let's see who's on here with us. There's Mother. She's here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us today. Again, if you are joining us via StreamYard, please give them permission to use your name, your comment, and your image. All right. So let me do some housekeeping over here on the personal Facebook page so I can make sure I've got everybody in the house tonight. All right. All right. I'm always tripped up trying to do this on the personal one. All right, there we are. Cool beans. Okay. All right. So, hey, Kim, thank you for joining us tonight for this important topic. Again, we are waiting for our guests to come on. Hey, say hi to me out there on the regular Facebook page if you're joining us. And I love to have you here on the New Empower because I can see your comments. So, um, yeah, so what's going on today? It's been an exciting day. I'm just gonna chat it up with you until Keela comes in. It's been an exciting day. I got my first shot of Moderna today. Yeah, I had tears in my eyes driving through the parking lot, getting ready to park. And so we got it done. We got it done. It's not so bad. Not so bad. This one isn't so far. So, yeah. So, what else has been going on today? Hey, thank you for joining me out there on Facebook. Say hello so I'll know who you are. Yeah, so we're coming to the end of Women's History Month. We've got some wonderful women who have been doing some amazing things. And so we were celebrating them all month long. Last week, we had an amazing guest talking about thriving after divorce. And we had another guest who was talking about branding for your business. And then we also had a radio guru. In my eyes, she's my mentor in the radio space, I would say. So we had some amazing women share with us. Hey, Reggie, thank you for joining me out there. So you guys know I don't like to talk. So I'm babbling. So please say something to me. Let's talk about something until Keela arrives. Keela had an amazing turnout with her tribe, sharing the ad, and so her tribe is going to be on here tonight with her, and she has a wonderful support system. So with her coming on tonight, this is what I didn't know is that it is National Social Worker Month. Hey, Renee, how are you? Thank you for joining me. It's National Social Worker Month. I didn't know that. And so, I don't want to read her intro. She will be joining us shortly. But yes, this is some important work, the social worker space. I don't know very much about it, but I do know a couple of people who are licensed social workers. I know they work very hard to get their credentials to, to really help people. And hey, Sheila, how are you? Thanks for joining us. And so, that social worker space is really an amazing space because you've got to do a lot of work. You're counseling people, and in this day and time, we really need it. Okay, we really need the counseling. We really need guidance because of what's going on in the world. We've been locked up and shut up for over a year now. And so, you can see in the news, people are really, for lack of a better term, they're really losing it, and they don't know where to turn. So this is the space where, social workers do the most good. They help us. And there's Sheila. She hopped off one and came on over here. I love it. I love it. So we are going to have an interesting discussion tonight. And again, if you're just joining me, I'm your host, Stacey B of the New Empowered Woman Show. And I'm just chatting. We're waiting for our guest. She's wrapping up her day in her practice. And so I told her that we'd give her some grace, that I'll just hang out with you for a minute. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Okay, who knows me well enough to know that um, I'm about to try this new soda, this new Pepsi with Peeps. It's Pepsi and Peeps. Okay, if you know me, you know I'm about to try that. You know I'm about to jump in and I'm about to see what this is all about. And so I can report back to you later. Oh my goodness. So what's going on in your space tonight, you guys? Talk to me. Talk to me. Everybody got their vaccine? Everybody got one at least? Everybody got one? I know two. One person on here I know got one besides me today. I know, Kim. I know. I know. You'll get it. You are a special baby. You're a special baby and you will get yours. You will get yours. Yeah, so after today, we've got 28 days to wait and to go back to get the second shot. My arm is just a tad bit sore, just a little bit. Um, I thought my face was tingling at first when I left. I thought I had a little tingling in my face. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to um, really monitor that and see how it goes. So yes, mommy, you get your last one on Saturday. Woo-wee. Okay. All right, guys, hang out with me just a few more minutes. Hopefully she will be on. Renee, okay. Renee, you've gotten both. Okay. I remember when we had that conversation, Renee. You were all ready, girl. You were ready when they first put it out. You were ready. Talked about give me the shot. No trepidation whatsoever. But I'm glad you got it. She got both. Everybody's talking about that second shot. So that's what's giving me a little anxiety, even more than the first one. So everybody is talking about that second dose is the doozy. So, but we praying through. We're going to pray through. Hey, Ebony, thank you for joining me. We are waiting for my guest, so please hang out with me for a few more minutes. She should be in momentarily. She's wrapping up. Nice to see you. Okay, Kim said. That face slap. Oh, okay. When you said that, oh, you know what I thought that was for. You know what I thought that was for. Okay. Okay. It was my Peeps and Pepsi. But now that you've mentioned it, yeah, I feel left out of the shot party. Well, you're going to come back to the party. You're going to come back to the party. Yeah, I'm going to try. And look, I tried to hold out. All of the Peeps you gave me, they are gone. I'm embarrassed. Now I need to put that up. I'm embarrassed. So please don't give me any more Peeps. No more Peeps. Okay, folks, hold on tight. Hold on tight. We're going to have an awesome discussion. We're going to talk about why there's so much stigma in the Black community when it comes to therapy. You know, why is that? Why are we afraid to sit down and talk to someone about, what's going on with us when it could potentially help us and free us from issues and things like that? So I'm excited about this conversation because it's coming up more and more. We are coming around. I know some close friends who, are now open to that, to therapy, because they know that it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, Keela's going to share with us some other information as to what she does in her profession. And we have a therapist online with us tonight as well, who I call my resident therapist here for the New Empowered Woman. So, hopefully, Ebony, you will chime in with us this evening. Um, to jump on this important discussion. All right, we're waiting. Hopefully, 4 more minutes, 3 more minutes, she'll be popping in. Okay. Kim, I know you did that for my peeps. I know, I know. Everybody, if you are just joining us, I'm your host, Stacy B of the New Empowered Woman Show. And I'm happy that you decided to hang out with me this evening. And my guest, Miss Keela Murray. She is a licensed clinical social worker, and she's got a lot to say in this space about therapy. And she's wrapping up her day. I told her I would just come on and talk to you guys. And again, thank you for everyone who is on here joining us right now, and those of you who shared the broadcast. Please like and please share and invite some folks on with us to share tonight. Okay. Uh-oh, there she is. My guest is in the studio. Here we go. Okay. There she is. Hey, Kira.
Hi, Stacy. How are
Look at
you?
you. Oh, mm,
Thank you. So do you.
yes, yes, honey. All right. So here's Keela. Everyone, thank you for hanging out with us. So, Keela, I was just chatting up with everybody. So now we can formally introduce you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in. And we are going to, as I said, it's National Social Worker Month, where we are celebrating and recognizing social workers among essential workers. You are essential to us. Yes, you are essential to us, right? And during the last year, as I mentioned, we have experienced some things. We've experienced a level of change that we've never experienced before, right? With the pandemic
Yes.
and with cops going cop crazy, we've experienced all that foolishness. And so social workers and counselors and therapists are needed now more than ever. So after this real quick intro, and I mean really quick, we are going to get right back into our show. Hold tight. All right, all right, all right. And there's Miss
I
Keela.
like that. That's
Ah,
nice, Stacy.
thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Also, oh, you got a compliment down here. Got to show this, Miss Kim. She was like, I love her hair.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you. I fluffed it up for the show.
girl, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. Again, my guest tonight is among those essential workers that I just mentioned, and her name is Keela Murray. She is the founder of 180 Urban Wellness. And welcome to New, Keela.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
It is awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And we were hanging out, waiting, sitting on the end of our chairs, waiting on you, waiting on you. So I'll read your intro really quickly. Keela Murray is founder and clinical director of 180 Urban Wellness LLC, a direct services organization providing therapy services and consultation and training. Keela is a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin, where she received a master's of social work. Whether working with Head Start families in South Los Angeles, developing truancy and dropout prevention programs in Austin, Texas, or creating a social entrepreneurship program in Baltimore, she has found herself in the midst of individuals and communities desiring change. Her life motto, change your thinking, change your life, has spurred Keela to push herself professionally and personally to make a greater impact on others and to create meaningful relationships and life experiences. Welcome, honey.
I appreciate that. That makes me feel good, but it makes me sound good. But yeah, I mean, this has been a journey. I will say that it's been a journey to be a social worker, but it's been an amazing journey
Oh,
nonetheless.
awesome, awesome. So, we're just going to talk. We're girlfriends, right? We're going to talk back and
Mm-hmm.
forth, and people are going to chime in and talk with us and share, their experiences and questions.
Okay.
So, we'll jump right in. So, 180 Wellness. How was this practice started? Just give us a brief backstory on that.
Okay, so 180 Urban Wellness, we have been in existence for officially almost a full year. And the name derives from, so typically when people say that they've changed, you usually hear people say, I made a 360, right? A
Right,
360, we're talking about a circle, 360 degrees.
right.
Well, when you think about that, right, what does that really mean? It really means that they end up where they started, right? And so 180 is that's the full change. That's the revolution of change. So 180 degrees, and we're talking about providing services to those in urban communities, so marginalized communities, to people that look like me and you, and to other people that are seeking help, right, and services. So the plan is to expand beyond psychotherapy and provide other wellness based services. But for now, the focus is counseling.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you said other services. So are
Mm-hmm.
you able to share maybe one or two of those services, or that's under wraps right now?
No, I can share. I mean, because I believe that wellness is not just a part of your mental or emotional well-being and spiritual well-being, but it's also physical. I
Mhm.
have a passion for being healthy, and so I would like to incorporate having like a juice bar when I get a physical location, an actual
Mhm.
office space. Everything that we do with 180 Urban Wellness, we provide virtual telehealth services,
Okay.
but I do want to expand and have a juice bar and potentially some other practices like yoga, maybe meditation and massage
Oh,
therapy as well.
wow. Okay. I've heard a couple of things in there that I'm interested in. That's awesome, Kayla. So did you always have this? Because your personality, you are just a genuine person. You are
Oh,
just a sweet person, a caring. You have a caring heart about you, and it's so genuine. So have you ever? I mean, is this something that you've always wanted to do? Were you a little girl trying to talk to people, or just have a caring personality, or what?
that's so funny. This actually 180 Urban Wellness, this is a newer vision. But I've always been a dreamer. I've literally always been a dreamer. And so, I'm always an optimistic person. And I've always wanted to help people, which is where the social work background comes in. And so, I just I want to kind of merge my passions of helping people, but also being a dreamer. That's where the juice bar and those other pieces come in because I believe that, if you put your mind to it, you can make it happen.
Yeah, and I can say you've been really an encouragement to me, over the recent months. You've been trying to push me to do some things, but you've been trying to push me. So you've been a real
Uh-huh.
encouragement. So, it's a lot of work to, that goes into this profession,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so you've gotten your master's. I mean, behind your name is pretty impressive. You've got your master's, and now I know when I used to work for the Arrow Project, it was a residential center for youth, and
Hmm.
the counselors there. Now that LCSW, behind your name, people were stressing about that,
Yeah.
trying to pass that, and so
Uh,
you've done a lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? I appreciate that. Thank you. I will say that I wouldn't have been able to do it without support from, family and friends, but also just having faith. So my faith in God has really kind of sustained me in being able to put in the work. And even when I wasn't seeing results, just having the faith and knowing that it would happen if I believed that it could.
Awesome. So, we talked, we did a quick overview, and we talked about um, your important work as far as being an advocate and then
Mhm.
being an agent for
Yeah.
social justice. What does that look like in this day and time?
Hmm. It looks like some of the bags that I have under my eyes. I mean that honestly, Stacey. So that's like literally the pinnacle of social work is being an advocate and working towards social justice in communities that are marginalized. I mean, I know we hear this a lot, especially now with there being much more of a spotlight on police brutality and discrimination. But we social work, the brunt of it is being an advocate for those that are not able to advocate for themselves. So being a voice for the voiceless.
Mm,
In terms of actually doing the work, what it can look like is it can look like uh, me talking with the clients that I have and helping them to identify specific goals that they want to set for their lives. It could be me helping to educate my client to be able to talk with the physician about any specific concerns they might have that might be medical. It could be community organizing, doing a letter writing campaign. It could be running for office because social workers do all these things,
oh,
right?
wow.
And more. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Renee is here. Renee Duckett, she says she agrees that therapy is a good thing. It's a good thing. And, I agree.
Yay. That's
Yeah,
right, Renee. It is a good thing.
it is. And everybody, if you're just joining us, my guest is Keela Murray. She is the founder and the clinical director of 180 Urban Wellness LLC, and she's here talking to us today about therapy for us. And because we know that there is just a mark on therapy when it comes to
Yeah.
our community, right?
Yeah.
So um, in the Black community, why is it so taboo? Why do you think that? Because therapy has been coming up more now.
Mhm.
When I said earlier before you came on that we are kind of sort of coming around that bend and being more open to having a therapist.
Mhm.
Um, and so, but because it's not uncommon in other groups. Some other groups
Yeah.
they've been having therapy since they could come out of junior high school. They in
Yeah.
school
Yeah. Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
therapy, and but now, why do you think it's been taboo for us?
Honestly, I think that for Black people, for us, it's been that I think it's a combination of there being the culture of we don't share our business, right? So let's not put our business out there. We're not just gonna be talking to random people who aren't in our household. So I know in my household, there was always a saying that what happens in this house stays in this house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so not being comfortable with seeking help is the other piece. I think we know with if you even look at like our community and the initial reluctance or continuing reluctance with getting the vaccine, right? Some of that is not necessarily trusting the medical community or the communities and the people and the professions that are here to help and to serve. And so I think when people think about therapy, and if they even think about social workers, we tend to get a bad rap because people tend to think child welfare, removing kids from home, snatching kids, right? I
Claudine.
Right. No, seriously.
Yeah, Claudine.
Yeah, I think that that's where that comes from. But, like you were saying, and I'm sorry that I missed, the beginning of the segment is that there is a shift. There is a shift. And so I am noticing just even with the types of people that are contacting me for services is there is more of a shift. I think the younger generations are definitely more open to seeking therapy, right? And to speaking with someone that can help them to sort out whatever they need to sort out. I
Mm-hmm.
think that women are more likely to seek help. Black women are more likely to seek help. I think that Black men just traditionally have, because, of patriarchy and how we're socialized, men just in general, and then Black men specifically, have been taught to be strong. And so seeking services, seeing a counselor, seeing a therapist, there's already the stigma that if you see someone that you're crazy,
Yeah.
but also, what does that mean for your manhood? Does it mean that you can still
Mm,
be a man and seek services, right? I try and flip it when I talk with people, and that it's really just about thinking about healing and thinking about being the best you that you can be for the people that you love and those that love you.
yeah, that's good. That's good. And you're right. It could be an attack on the man's manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Just that mindset of what
Yeah,
they have. Just mindset is everything. You
yeah.
know. And so Kimberly said, yeah, therapy, it could be incorporated regularly, just like seeing a physician.
I
Just
see that, and I love that.
yeah, just add that into the regular schedule
It
of doctors.
it is, Stacey. I tell when I talk to people who are like unsure about, well, should I see a therapist? Should I start counseling? I tell them that you think of it like you if you have a car, you take your car in, or you should be taking your car in regularly for an oil change, a tune up,
Hmm.
right? So you think about the amount of daily stresses and stressors that we encounter, and you multiply that over time, why not have a tune up for your mental health and your mental well being?
Why not? Why not? Now, Renee said yes. When you were talking about the stigma of
Yeah.
counseling, Renee says, yes, that is how we were taught. Don't take the
Mm-hmm.
family business outside of the home,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Yep.
because of that mindset and mentality, we are bound and, we are struggling with strongholds, those things that I normally talk about,
Yeah.
because we are not addressing some things that if we just would have a seat on the couch,
Right.
um, things could be a little better.
Yeah.
She said, Renee said, we had family members who would get angry if you said you feel certain ways. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't even get in touch with our feelings because we
Mm-hmm.
are shamed for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the right. So the repression of being able to
Mm,
express yourself, right, and communicate that, and I did my own research prior to becoming a social worker, but just kind of thinking about just how we as a people have passed down, like you were talking about strongholds, have passed down traditions and some things that are healthy and some things that are just not healthy.
right.
And some of those things, not everything, but some of those things, yes, still stem from slavery. When you think about being able to express yourself, having the freedom of, and I know this is a little bit probably further than you want to go, but having the
Oh, go
freedom
there.
to be able to express yourself was not allowed, obviously, for enslaved people, right? To have that. And so some of that, yes, is still reinforced today, I
Wow.
believe.
Isn't that something? I'm telling you, it is just amazing, just to see the more you learn,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
the freer you could become. And Kim said this repression is causing people to die by not seeking therapy,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. 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 Because you think about like if you think about the most marginalized people, so this is not just Black people; it's also Indigenous people, right,
Hmm.
and others who have been oppressed systemically over time.
Hmm.
Those are the people that have typically the worst health outcomes, right,
Yeah.
and higher blood pressure from stress, um, other medical conditions that could be managed through medication and or could be managed through a different diet. But you think about all these things, right? And you think about people not seeking services. There's a combination of things that cause people to not be able to live healthy lives. And it is
Wow.
repression. I mean, can I ask you a question, Stacey? Since we're having a
Sure.
conversation
Oh,
and
I
since
don't
we're on the
know. Go,
couch.
go ahead. All right.
I'm curious, like, what has what have you heard, over time in terms of like just regular folks, Black people talking about therapy? What were the conversations that you would hear?
Well, over time, that Black people don't do that, so white people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hear. You
Yep.
know, we and you really are moving into another comment that I had.
Oh.
We don't need therapy. I can just pray. I can just pray about it.
Yeah.
You go to church, you shout, you fall out, you break your knee, all of that. And so, but then you leave and you're still bound,
Yep.
because while prayer is good,
Mhm.
therapy serves a purpose. Now, because you pushed me into my other question
Sorry.
or my other comment, a well-known therapist, her name is Dr. Anita Phillips.
Okay.
She is a minister and a therapist.
Mm.
She is bomb,
Yeah.
okay, just
I'm gonna have
bomb. And
to write that name down.
yes, you have to look her up. And she has a quote. She says, prayer is a weapon, but therapy is a strategy. Okay, so she knows how important that is
Mm-hmm.
um, to juxtapose those two,
Yeah.
because it works together.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard, mostly throughout the years. We just want to pray
Yeah.
and all of that. Now, Cherise, please help me and let me know that I said this name correctly. Is it Cherise
Oh,
Sanko?
that's Sharice.
All right
Yes,
now,
that's
she
my girl.
says.
Hi, Sharice.
She said another barrier could be the expense of therapy. It's not always covered by insurance,
Yeah.
assuming you have insurance. She said she sees a therapist regularly, but it took a while to find one that takes my insurance
Yep.
and within her means. So
Yeah. That is.
that's another good point right there. And that keeps us from getting the health care in general that
Mm-hmm.
we need, right?
No, I mean that's excellent because I talk about that with other colleagues that have private practice like myself and who take insurance and the types of insurance that we accept because part of the process is you get to decide and if you're in private practice which insurance companies you want to accept, right, based on their rates and things like that. And so that is a very real barrier is
Mm-hmm.
actually having insurance and then finding a therapist that can address whatever your specific issues are or challenges, that
Mm-hmm.
accepts your insurance or takes a sliding fee scale, so is able to reduce their rate for you to be able to have services, right? One of the things that I made sure that I would do with my practice is to accept Medicaid for that specific reason, because I wanted to be able to be accessible to people who may not have quality therapists.
That's good.
Yeah. And can
That's
I just add one thing because
sure.
about the spiritual component, the
Sure.
praying away and the like is the beauty about finding therapists, seeking therapists, is that there are therapists that specialize, like you mentioned, the doctor, right? There are therapists that specialize in specific challenges or issues that people may be facing, anxiety, depression, body image, sexuality. It could be a lot of different ranges, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are also therapists that incorporate spirituality specifically,
Yep.
right? And so if that's something, if your background, if you were coming from a mind frame of we need to pray it away. If that's something that you wanted to incorporate, you can definitely look for that in a therapist too.
Yes, awesome. Wow, these are great comments. And Kimberly says that that's not even biblical when the word
Yeah,
tells us to seek wise counsel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It don't, it
Right.
don't
Who's making this stuff up, right?
right,
And
because
what
we're
is
shouting all day, but we're not reading,
exactly?
we're not understanding, we're not
Yeah.
reading with an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Kimberly says, meaning when people say they just pray, which is good, but therapy is an answer to
Mm-hmm.
prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
you can pray to find a good therapist, and God can make a way. He can open up a door, for therapists like you, and Dr. Phillips and Ebony. So yeah, that's a really good. This is really good. She said, oh,
Yeah. Uh-huh. She said my therapist can pray something down. Yeah, I mean there are, psychology today, you can find therapists on psychology today. You can pinpoint if you want them to have specific background, if it's a specific mode or modality of treatment. But you can also look through your insurance companies and you can go through their uh, provider list and
okay.
see which therapists are out there too.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Oh, wow. This is so good. I'm moving through my questions. Oh, fast. Um, let's see. Okay, so tell me this. What is
Yeah.
the difference between a therapist and a coach? What's that
Okay.
difference?
So
Because
the
some people may think that's
yeah,
the same.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
tell us, help us out, besides all of the credentials that you had to work for.
I mean, that's a good question, but so that's a great question. And the credentials mean something. So I don't know if we can separate that out, right? So I don't know what training coaches have or background. I'm not familiar with that, but I can tell you that specifically anyone that is providing mental health therapy services, so a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed professional counselor, a psychologist, right, or a marriage and family therapist, any of those folks, we have gone through pretty rigorous training to understand behavioral health, mental health, specific issues that impact how you think and how you function, and then ways to treat them. So, and then
Okay.
we've had to have hours that were supervised by other licensed professionals, and then
Hmm.
pass a board exam, right? So it's I think it's probably a little bit more rigorous. I think
Yes.
coaches work on things like figuring out like your life goals,
Hmm.
whereas a therapist is working with you on helping you to improve how you interact in the world with other people and how you feel about yourself.
Wow. Yeah, it's a clear distinction, a very clear
I hope so.
distinction. Let's see what Kim, she was laughing for something. Okay. All right. So what's how does one, because you hit on this just very briefly, how does one determine, because you said you've got to figure out who can meet your needs. Sharice said, Sharice hit on that at the end of her
Yeah,
first
yeah,
question.
yeah.
How do you determine that? How do you determine when you need, first of all, when you need to seek out a counselor? How do you figure that out? And then how do you find the right one?
Okay. So those are great questions, right? I usually say so in terms of figuring out whether you actually need to see somebody, whether it be good to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are honest with yourself and or if other people have noticed, so maybe you are in a space where you have not been able to notice significant changes in how you are um, living your regular everyday life or how you're interacting with other people. So maybe you're maybe kind of more closed off, isolated, not connecting with people as much. Maybe you're experiencing a lot of different feelings or a lot of different thoughts that aren't your regular. And maybe your
Mm-hmm.
routine or your patterns of behavior or acting are different, so much so within the past week or two that it's a significant change. Then that might be a good indication that you may want to talk with somebody. You may want to find a therapist just to check in to see if there are any things that they can help you with improving on, helping you to feel better or think clearly or differently about your life or your circumstances. Um, in terms of finding a therapist, so I did kind of talk about that just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have insurance, you can go directly to your insurance provider and you can look through like the behavioral. It depends. Different insurance companies do things differently, but you can contact your insurance, see what your behavioral health benefits are, and see if they can refer you to someone. A lot of websites now for insurance companies, you can actually look through the provider profiles.
Okay.
Also, there are other websites, Psychology Today. You can look at provider profiles. Sometimes, some people have found me by just Googling.
Oh, okay.
So other people, they just Google like what they look for and then kind of profiles come up as well.
Wow. So do you work with, or have you ever thought about working through a company's EAP services?
Not a specific, so I can say I'm not contracted to provide EAP through a specific company,
Hmm.
but through a few insurance companies, I can provide EAP services as well. That's actually that's also a good way to be connected, right? I hadn't thought about that, but that is an excellent way if
Hmm.
your employer offers EAP benefits, employee assistance program benefits.
Hmm.
Typically, you have a short term
Right.
time frame, right, where you can work on any issues. So if it's specific to mental health, that's a way they'll refer you to a provider.
Hmm.
That's a good way to kind of get in the door to test people out to see if you're a
Oh.
good fit. Because the other thing is, so what do you do once you find a counselor, you find a therapist or a clinical social worker, right? How do you know if they're a good fit? I tell my clients, you want to feel comfortable. It should be someone that you feel comfortable talking with because you're going to be sharing pretty intimate details about
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Hmm.
So you test that out. You kind of have an interview with them as you're going through the first few sessions to
Okay.
kind of see. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Hey, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining us. She
Hi,
is.
Jacqueline.
Hey, girl. Good to see you. So yeah, and I had another question that hit, yeah, because well, a comment, because I've utilized EAP services
Mm-hmm.
at least twice
Yeah.
in my career, in my whole work
Yeah. Yeah.
career. Um, I've used them on a very serious matter, probably like 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious matter that I was dealing with. And then most recently, probably over the last 15 or so years, I used one because of my sugar addiction. So they all over, they run the
They
whole
cover
spectrum. Okay.
everything. I've used them too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've used EAP too and had a great experience.
Hmm.
I was connected to a therapist through EAP and had a wonderful experience.
Okay, so you just walked right into this door. So do therapists need therapists?
Everyone who experiences challenges can
Oh,
benefit from a therapist, and so I raised my hand, myself included. Yeah,
that's
um,
good.
some programs, depending on the program you go to, they require you as as part of your training
Oh, wow.
to have therapy, to be aware of some of your own stuff, but also so you can experience what it's like when you're dealing with your clients, right? So you can have a little bit more empathy to know what it's like to be a client, to have to talk about and unpack some of your stuff.
Yes, yes, that is so good. So good. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm not ready to end this. Oh my goodness, not yet. So, so that I don't have to end it, we're going to do a quick sponsor before we get into the last bit, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, we do have a sponsor. New Empowered Woman does have a sponsor. And tonight's show is sponsored by, as you can see, the Support Black Women
Oh,
in Business Group. This is a business group that supports Black women in business. They're entrepreneurs, artists, community based organizations, and startups. The Support Black Women in Business group was created as a way for Black women in business to help and support each other. So, if you are interested in knowing more about them, you can email them. What is this? This is their Facebook page here, Support Black Women in Business, their Facebook page. And that's the Facebook, that's Keela. This is their IG page. So if you're interested, and you can also email them. All right. And also, we are sponsored by Tonight Diva Sneaky Bling. If you are in need or interested in some bling Converse for it's summertime is coming, wedding time is coming. If you know someone, please shoot them on over to Diva Sneaky Bling. I bling shoes for adults and children. This is a wedding sneaker, so if you know someone who may need it, hey, it's that season coming. So yeah, there's that. Now back to our regularly scheduled show.
I love it.
We are back. We are back. So Keela, tell me where where are you where are you going next? What's next for 180? What's next for you?
What's on the horizon?
Yes.
So currently, with 180, I have three other clinicians that work with the practice, and then I'm the fourth. So we are looking to bring on a few
Hmm.
more clinicians in the practice. We're able to
Yeah.
accept clients in DC and Maryland. And again, like I said, all services are virtual, but the next chapter is expanding to California. So
Oh, wow.
expanding the brand and opening up an office in LA County,
Hmm.
and being able to serve the population there as well.
Yeah, because you are from California, yes?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Long Beach, born
She's
and
a
raised.
Long Beach gal.
Mhm.
All
Yes,
right. Well, that's
indeed.
awesome, Keila. Congratulations. I know that's going to be exciting. We have another comment from Kimberly. She said, you hit a good point of therapists seeing a therapist. So you're aware of your own stuff. So, wait a minute. So, what do you see in general with past? Oh, that's good. Can you read that?
I do. It says, so what do you see in general with pastors, leaders, ministers seeking professional therapy, especially because they project? So I think she's asking my opinion about it, like
Yes,
my
yes.
thoughts
What do
on
you
whether
think
they've.
about pastors getting this therapy? Because
Mhm.
we have
Yeah, yeah,
okay projecting your stuff
yeah, yeah, yeah.
onto the congregation.
I mean, again, I think right, we're all human at the end of
Hmm.
the day, and
Yeah.
so that being a pastor, a minister, any kind of leader, I don't think that insulates you from life challenges, right, and stressors and loss and grief and having difficulty managing any of those things. And so I think that it's a smart leader, it's a smart pastor, it's a smart minister that is able to seek that counsel and therapy.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. And Jacqueline says, congratulations on your new plans.
Thank
All
you.
right. Kimberly says, congratulations. Yes, we
Appreciate
are,
that.
you are twofold this evening. You are here for Social Worker Month and
Yeah.
Women's History Month.
Anyway.
So we are
Yes.
celebrating that. So you are in here two times. We give you whoop whoop. And I love the sweatshirt. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm checking all the boxes, right?
Okay. Yes.
Female, yes. Social
All the
worker,
things.
yes.
All the things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kimberly, what did she say? And are you seeing a shift in that where there's a shift in them seeking therapy? Are you seeing a shift in that?
Specifically for ministers.
I believe so. Mhm.
Honestly, so I don't know. I can't say that I've had, that I've worked with specifically that I've had clients that were in the ministry. But what I can say is, so my church that I go to, New Bethel Baptist Church in DC, um, which is what I loved about them when I first joined a few years ago. They partner with a nonprofit Christian counseling service, right? And so I in that sense, I'm seeing a shift with churches embracing the
Mhm.
idea of it being okay and normalizing counseling and also still being able to worship, right, and serve. Yeah.
Right. And that's good that that word you use to normalize it. Just
Hmm.
make it like a normal part of your life.
Hmm.
Just like Kim said, adding it to your check the
Yeah.
box off for your annual, all of that.
Right. Right.
It's
It's
okay.
a tune up, like I mentioned, right? I
Hmm.
think it's yeah, I think it's important to be able to check in with yourself.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, this has been really good. I mean, all great comments. Thank you, everyone who joined us this evening. Does anyone else have a comment for Keila this evening? Thank you for joining us over here on the personal page and here on New Empowered Woman. Um, yeah, because this is an important. She celebrated. Yeah, thumbs up, all of that. All of that. Yeah. So, how do we get in touch with you? I'm going to put that on the screen for you. So, how do we
Okay.
get in touch with you?
I think probably the easiest way is to go to the website. And so that's www dot
Hold on. www dot.
180
Mhm.
urbanwellness.com.
That's easy.
Yep,
That's
it's pretty easy. And
yeah.
so if
We
any,
like easy.
yeah, you can contact us directly through there. There's a contact page, and you can see more of the services and things that we provide. But yep, that's the best way.
Yeah. Wow, Kayla. So, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience tonight as it relates to therapy and encouraging us to,
Yeah,
not be afraid to take that step and to help free ourselves,
yeah.
in here, everywhere.
I can say that, and I'm biased, right? But I can say that my experience with my first therapist was my first thought after having it was, why did I not do this sooner? Why did it take me so long to do this? I've heard other friends, girlfriends say the same thing, and that
Mm-hmm.
it was actually really refreshing. They had really great experiences. I'd like to encourage people who, if they've already tried therapy and maybe didn't have the greatest experience, to not use that as an excuse to not seek services with someone else. Because again, it's about the relationship that's really important between you and the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I would also just like to say there's a few self-care tips that if I could share,
Yes, yes, yes.
right?
That's one thing I forgot to put in my formal notes, and
Got
I
it.
realized that when you started talking earlier, I was like, "Oh Lord, don't let us forget that." So yes,
Nope.
what are the self-care tips that you can share with us?
So self-care, right? We're really just talking about you taking time out for yourself, to love on yourself, to kind of replenish, reinvigorate, rejuvenate yourself. And so just getting in touch with some of those things that maybe you've been too busy to do, because
Mm-hmm.
of life. So if that's reconnecting with friends, family, even if that's just a phone call, or if that's, I know we're in COVID, so if that's socially distancing and meeting outside, wearing a mask, of course. But other things, right? It could be playing board games with family, or it could be taking a walk, getting outside and getting some fresh air, getting some exercise. I think fresh air does wonders for all of us. Listening to
Mm-hmm.
music. Listening to music is awesome. Making a playlist of your favorite songs and having a dance party by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just kind of checking in with yourself, doing those things. I think self care is important. And so, if for some people it feels daunting, like it has to be this big to do and planned out, if you can take 5 to 10 minutes for yourself daily, you
Mm-hmm.
might notice a difference, right? And so you can figure out when it needs to be, if that's in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon. I can tell you one thing I did for myself, Stacey, and we talked about this. I bought
Mm-hmm.
a mic. Remember, I told you I bought the microphone, right?
Yes, yes.
So I was so excited about having this karaoke mic. It's wireless, that in between my sessions, because we get stressed too. In
Mm-hmm.
between sessions, I would charge that mic up and I'd turn the music on and I'd crank it up and I would sing. I'd sing for like 5 to 10 minutes and dance around in the place. And then, okay, now I'm calm. I feel less stress. And now I can get back to doing my business. So, yeah,
Wow,
just kind of getting
great.
back to the childlike things that you used to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy.
That's good. Getting back to childlike things, because you inspired me when I got home. When I left your place on Saturday,
Yeah.
when I came home, and I was like, I should get my mic out and start singing again because I started seriously. I started to get it out. Was it yesterday morning?
Uh-huh.
Listening to Fred Hammond, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm going downstairs." It was just ringing in me, and of course, I just started doing something else. You start doing something else, and you
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
because we often think that self care is, "Hey, thank you for joining me, Daryl." We often think self care we have to do it like you said in these big old chunks
Mm-hmm.
and that's overwhelming just to think
Yeah.
about it. Like
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Exactly.
And so, like you said, whatever it is, if it's 5 minutes, if it's breathing exercises, if it's listening to the music or cranking up your mic and letting it rip, it's something. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be long. Like you said, it
Yeah.
does not have to be long.
Not at
And
all.
mommy says, she says, great information, Keela.
Hi, Miss Anne. Thank you.
Great information. Absolutely great information tonight. And so I am hoping everybody that this episode of New Empowered Woman has encouraged you, if you're not already in utilizing a therapist, that it will encourage you to at least think about it.
Yeah.
Use some of the tips that Keela said that to even just think about whether you need it or not, to get in touch with you. And so hopefully that you won't, continue to feel that it's a stigma or something to be shamed about or embarrassed, because it's not. Therapy can be free. There are many therapists, as she said, that can meet many needs. If you have a spiritual need, if you want that component, they're there. you know and we're also looking forward to more of what's to come with Keela. And your friend Sharice has said wonderful messages and advice. Yes, she is. Yes, she is an amazing person and friend.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Sharice.
Oh, and thank you for joining us, Sharice. I hope this won't be your last time joining us, honey. So we thank you. We love all new folks who come and share with us to become part of the new Empowered Woman
That's
family.
right.
If you have any suggestions or anything that you would like me to cover on New Empowered Woman, please just send me an email simply at new empowered, the number one, at gmail.com. And I'll put that up here. Email new empowered, if I can type, number one at gmail.com. And I see a comment from Jacqueline. I'm going to get that out here. Okay, new empowered, the number one at gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments for our guests, please reach out to me. And also, Jacqueline says she's seriously thinking about it. She's
That's
seriously
good
thinking
stuff.
about it.
That's encouraging. That's
Yeah.
encouraging.
And so thank you, Keela. These are the types of guests, you are the type of person and guest that I want to have here on New Empowered Woman because you've just empowered the guests, the viewers, to maybe try something that they have never tried before. Because yes, she's had a lot of changes within the last year.
Mhm.
And so
And she's not alone in that. She's not alone
absolutely.
in that. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Jacqueline, if you want to reach out to Keela, hey,
Hmm.
who knows? Maybe
Hmm.
she can help you. I know she can help you either personally or direct you to someone,
Yeah.
help you find, someone that meets your needs. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Thank you, Renee and Ebony and Daryl for joining us, and Sharice. I love the way you spell your name. Okay, I love that. I love that. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for this installment of the New Empowered Woman. And next week, if we are, the Lord says we can come back, we'll be back. And so, again, with a great guest. And so, Keela, we thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I
It
mean, really,
was.
this was great. Yeah.
Yes, well, I couldn't wait to get you on here. So thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Again, this is Stacy B, your host of the New Empowered Woman. And so don't forget, this is the New Empowered Woman show where the new is all about you. We're moving you from your now to your new. Have a good night.